Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, gonna go over the trades that we took today. This was the game plan going into tomorrow. So this is where we opened up on the 30-minute chart on the 620 calls. Going into today, we knew market was bullish because of this 30-minute chart. 10's above the 50 on the 30-minute. That means we're trading bullish and we're only focused on the long side. So how you would have played today, if we go to the 0DT chart, it was a little bit of a choppier day, but if we look, there was like one entry that I would have taken. You can see we ended up getting this cross right here. The 10 went above the 50 at like 10 o'clock, but this 50 SMA was still trending down super hard, so there's no entry until that 50 ends up curling. So it ended up curling at around like 11:30, and we got a closure above the 10 and the 50, and then once it starts curling, you could enter. So it didn't end up curling until that 11:35 candle, so that would have been your entry, and then your stop loss is a closure back below that 50 SMA. And you actually could have got a solid move on this on NQ. NQ was a lot stronger than ES, so even though that this did break below the 50, this was actually still in profit by the time we end up closing below the 50 by like 10 points. So it never hit our target of like 50 points. I think the most it got up to was like 35-40 points. It was almost at our TP of 50, but ended up pulling back here to the 10, the 50 SMA right here. It held. It looked really good at this point, but it just ended up coming back below this 50 SMA and closing below, and that's where you would have closed it. It was still at like 10 points in profit, so it wasn't a red trade. I can't complain with that. And then the chart just ended up coming back up to the 50 SMA, didn't cross, and then we just broke below the 50 and where it was trending a little lower, and we got this cross end of the day. Obviously you're not taking this is way too late in the day to take a cross. The premiums are just getting crazy towards the end of the day, and that's not a trade that you would take anyways. So that's pretty much the only trade that the system gave today. It was just that 10-50 SMA reclaim when the 50 finally curled up, and that's like a break-even trade pretty much for 10 points on NQ. So that was really the only opportunity today. If you flip to the put side, I don't think there was there's really nothing going on the other side of the premium. On the, what was this, I don't even think I have it pulled up. This is the wrong chart. So yeah, on the put side, this is what it ended up looking like. So there was no cross here on the puts. Wouldn't have taken a put cross anyways because the market was still bullish and we were around that 30-minute 50. And this almost ended up crossing right here. There was no negative cross, so there was really nothing to take from this chart. If you really wanted to take an entry, I mean, you could have bought once we got back below this 10 to 50, but that's not really an ideal trade. It is a lower risk trade because, again, your stop loss is above the 50, so that's only like 10 to 15% on the premium if you did want to take that. But the best trade is always a 0DT call cross in the direction of the 30-minute trend, which that's the entry we took earlier. Just didn't end up working out, and you got stopped out. But yeah, that's pretty much what you would have done today. There was no other trades besides this trade that we took right here on that reclaim. It was a good setup. 10's above the 50, 50's curling up, and the 30 minutes bullish. Everything was aligned. It just didn't end up playing out. Bit of a choppier day, but going into tomorrow, this is what we look like on the 30-minute. The put side is pretty much irrelevant, and if we flip to the call side, you guys know we're trending bullish on the 30 minutes. Pretty obvious. 10's above the 50 on the 620 calls. That means we are bullish, and we're only focused on the long side. And if we flip to the higher time frames, you can just see how clean this chart is. I mean, on Friday, we ended up, getting this dip to the 1 hour 50. I went over this in yesterday's video, but, we got this dip to the 30-minute 50/1 hour 50, and the trend ended up holding. And, every higher time frame chart is really clean. Everything's crossing pretty much. 4 hour here is just crossing right now. It'll be crossed probably tomorrow at open. We'll just see how we open up, but I mean, still, right now the market is still looking pretty bullish. So we're just going to be focused on those 0DT call crosses, 50 dip on the call side. And yeah, until this 30-minute chart goes negative, I'm favoring the upside. And, let's say we did just get a massive dump tomorrow, then, 10 goes below 50, then I'd be open to taking a put cross, and then, 50 dip on the put side as well. Because on that initial negative cross on the 30-minute, you guys know we could take that 50 SMA dip on the put side. Only on that initial negative cross. Once we get a solid move from the negative cross, then you don't buy those 50 dips anymore. So that's the game plan for tomorrow. That's what we did today. If you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, join Discord down below. But that's all I got. I'm out. Peace.